Well, Suho's trying to get in some dungeons so he can level up. He comes to his uncle Jinho, hoping he can help him out, offering him all the jewels and crystals they'll get in the dungeon in exchange for helping him fulfill the amount of members he needs to fulfill the association's regulations. And he's like, bro, you're trying to go in dungeons and you're an E rank? He says he's got a way to clear dungeons alone, but he's like, bro, you know I'm a hunter too, right? And even though I'm a D rank stronger than you, I still can't take on dungeons on my own. Why do you want to go in there so bad? Like, do you think your parents got swept away in the Great Cataclysm? I'm still hiring people to check out the dungeons and look for them. You don't gotta go in the dungeons and risk your life. He's like, bro, I knew this would happen. And well, you are the person I trust most. And just tells him, I'm actually an awakened hunter that can level up. There are invaders from an outer universe that are hiding on Earth. And so I have to keep leveling up to become strong enough to stop them. He's being dead serious as he's saying this, but Jinho's like, what are you talking about? Wait a minute, have you heard about our latest project, solo leveling? He starts laughing like, bro, I know somebody's playing a joke on me. You just described the story of a game that we're making. The main character starts as the weakest rank and works all the way up to surpass S ranks, eventually becoming the strongest and protecting the world. He's just thinking that sounds like it could be his father's story. He says, if you're playing a prank on me, then you failed. But then Beru pops out like, failed? Not a chance. I know you must have some vague memories of the previous world. And then he just pauses for a second and looks at him. Suho, what the hell did you bring in my office? Beru says, hold up, let me handle this. In the forgotten time, you were a minion who followed behind my king. And out of everybody, you've seen the most of Jinwoo's fights. The memories of those moments are engraved in your soul, but it's much faster for me to show you than tell you. So he sticks this shadow key into his heart, and he's just in this white room looking at a younger version of himself. That's when all the memories start flooding back. Trying to make his first deal with Jinwoo, all the missions they went on together, and then this personal conversation. They decided to think of each other as brothers. He can't resist just crying his eyes out, because just being able to know the real Jinwoo again is crazy. And Suho's kind of worried, but there's no need for concern. He just remembers everything he forgot. And he says, I see the strength that Jinwoo had, which has no limits. You, his son, also has it, right? Yeah, kinda, but it's a little different. Oh, alright then. I think Jinwoo is protecting us from the god of the outer universe, and then the Eaterim's invasion. Like, all this shit is crazy. Like, this shit is this urgent, and you brought me a business proposal? Like, come on, yo. You a stickler for rules just like your dad. But now that I understand the situation, I can't treat you like a kid and try to protect you. I accept your proposal. He figures the reason he gave him his memory back was so he could have a chance to help. So he's gonna make sure to do his best. Then it cuts to Suho and this Shiesty. He's pulling up at this dungeon as we see that they're doing the same con again, just filling up the team with injured people and other hunters that don't want to go so he can go in by himself. And he's like, bro, are you really about to pay us $4 million to just sit here and not go with you? And are you really going alone? Shit, man, if you feel like you can't do it, just tell me at any time. Even though my body's in this state, I might be able to provide a little help. And Suho smiles back saying thanks, and he goes inside the dungeon. So Suho heads into the dungeon alone, just thinking about all the numerous things his father has had to deal with. He calls on the gang to go with him, as he says inside the system, he can feel the warmth of Jinwoo through his hidden intentions. But even so, as they walk up on a gang of monsters, I'm not trying to let him take on everything by himself. So let's start leveling up. So it cuts over to somebody pulling up at this building, and it looks like Lee Min-sung. He's saying it's been 3 months since we met, talking about somebody he's meeting here. He was trying to be low-key, but the janitor recognizes him because, again, he's a big CEO. He just smiles, thanking him for the recognition. He says, I'll be cheering you on, the hero of the hunters. But he's just in his own head about how people envy him. I'm a super elite that was born as the son of a CEO. I made my debut as a celebrity early on, and I became known around the world as the Prince of Asia. And after the Great Cataclysm, I became an A-ranked awakened. I thought I would continue living on as an apex predator, but one day my driver awakened as well as an S rank. And his name was Lim Tae-gyu, and he just quit being his driver to become a hunter. And he flips the script saying, hey, you're an A-rank hunter, right? You want to join my guild? Just ripping away his dominance. I'm an A-rank, but a mere driver is an S. And starting from that day, I was sure this world was going to come crumbling down. The structure of the pyramid that was flipped upside down after the cataclysm, I have to restore it to how it originally was, even if that means I need to join hands with the demon. That's crazy, nigga really sold his soul. And as he opens this door, he's got this dull look on his face, and wipe those smiles off your faces before I rip y'all to pieces. Now, where is y'all owner? It's been a while since he's been back. Like, is he not gonna come say anything? But then somebody calls his name, then he's like, you, that hair color and those damn eyes. Are you the outer worlder? And this looks like Jinwoo, like just a kid version of Jinwoo with white hair. Like, what the fuck? Now, you were just a baby the last time I saw you, and even your mana has increased. You're growing up just as planned. Bro, I already told you before, I'm not growing, I'm just recovering my strength. In order to resolve the dimensional transfer problem between outer verses, I split my original body up, broke my strength and personality into fragments, and sent them to this world. And among those fragments, the first one to arrive was my baby form. My current form has just fused with the second fragment. And even though my memories are the same, my personality is different from the one you met. I'm basically a different person. He sits down like, bro, that sounds hella complicated. So to keep it simple, just don't be too friendly with me. Well, I don't care about your personality, but you remember your promise, right? Wealth, fame, power. Actually, no, the removal of the S-rank hunter, Lim Tai-Q. He's doing all this to get his ex-driver killed. That's crazy. Well, good, as long as you remember. But what is it that brings you here? And he's like, what, I can't come into my own house? Well, nah, I believe I told you not to come here unless you had a special reason. Well, alright, fine. There's a problem with the Stardust manufacturing. Both the Hyena Guild and the factory in Seoul were taken out. So I'm here to get any reinforcements for the Stardust if available. Then he asked, how did you find out they were attacked? And he just heard it was a masked hunter that came in and destroyed everything. Now, Lee Min-sung, you're the one that started this Stardust manufacturing method and created the distribution system. Didn't you say that system wouldn't have any issues? But kid, if we tried to worry about every single detail, we'd never get shit moving. So he side-eyes him saying how incompetent. Was my previous personality choosing you as a pawn the wrong decision? He pulls out his knife like, hold up. You're not about to keep disrespecting me, yo. I'm not a brainwashed empty shell like you are. I'm an A-ranked hunter that could kill you before you recover your strength. I'm not the pawn here, you are. He says, bro, human hunters simply determine rank based on the quantity of mana. Think it's some kind of symbol of strength. How uncivilized. Then it shows this old man walking, and he just gets like taken over as this halo forms over his head. Now mana is just surging everywhere, and they're just forming over everybody's head in the building, just completely indiscriminately. And it shows his symbol over the whole structure, so he brainwashed everyone in it. He says, my previous personality just chose you for the sake of survival, but now that I possess the strength to survive, the relationship we have could change depending on how competent you are. And it shows he's just completely surrounded by other powerful hunters under his mind control. Like, this shit is actually crazy. He just looks at him all stern and jumps back like, hey man, you know I was just kidding. I was just testing to see if you could really kill an S rank. Yeah, whatever, I'ma spare you because I still got some use for you. Then he undoes his brainwashing. And this girl opens this briefcase to show off this enhanced version of the Stardust. These were made from condensing Stardust 100 times. He's like, wait, I didn't know you had shit like this. If you dilute it, then you can sell hella Stardust. But if you were to use it as is, it would even have effects on an A-rank hunter like you. So how about you give it a try? He's just looking like, nah, I'll pass. I'm not gonna use something I don't know nothing about. But he's just thinking to himself, I might have unleashed an unimaginable monster onto the earth, but that's none of my business, as he goes to leave. And then bro drops his book, as he can feel that another fragment of his strength is arriving soon. Once I fuse with that one, I won't have to hide anymore. They show us this big ass cobra that looks familiar. That smacks Isel and Gray, sending them flying. But they're both able to catch themselves as Suho springs right in and pulls the exact same move that his dad did, just using his strength to flip the snake and just crush its skull with his strength. Okay, not his skull, just crushed through his neck. You know he had to hit the superhero pose. Then it shows the Eaterum who's waiting on his next fragment of power to pass through to this dimension, saying when that time comes, that's when the real invasion will begin. But cuts to the people outside the dungeon trying to figure out exactly why they're getting paid for doing nothing. This is the 4th time they've done it, so hey, who cares? She's like, I know, but it doesn't feel right. Well, go ahead and quit then. More money for us. And she's like, nah. The other people are thinking it's suspicious because he doesn't even have a collection team or a mining team. He really just went into a C-rank dungeon by himself. But what the hell is he doing? And it shows a bunch of crystals being hacked as his goblins are getting to work while Beru's being a drill sergeant. They're all just being cool and collecting their rewards. She's worried about the young monarch. He went to go fight the C-rank boss by himself. But it looks like he's holding up pretty well, dodging his way through this big-ass bug's attacks. Then he uses his Storm Slash. The bug got resistance to his paralysis. Oh damn, I can't even test out this blade's new ability. Then he just flings the dagger at him and cocks back his fist. Yeah, that looks like a falcon punch to me. Since daggers won't work, I gotta use my hands. At the same time he's punching it, he's using his ruler's authority to control his daggers and stab it. So fighting him is like 2 fights at once. then he thinks of another idea about how to use the ruler's authority while he attacks. He like gathers it into his fist. Okay, now we're getting to the Falcon Punch. The shit like break the sound barrier with a shockwave. It's like a bunch of impacts on the bug at once. He defeated the giant arachnid. He lays on the corpse like, damn, that took hella concentration. It made me get tired much faster. There could be endless possibilities to how he can fight with the ruler's authority. He walks back over to the gang. They both start praising him for taking out the boss. He tells Beru to keep eating to restore his power. They already collected the materials from the monsters. Now he just selling them in the store for some money. Beru says he's getting close to the level of a B rank. Hey, I'm not surprised, I've leveled up like 8 times. We see his new stats in the window. It's not just you, Isla and Gray got stronger too. She says, yeah, the more we fight, the more it feels like my strength recovers. How am I able to recover my strength without consuming blood? He's just like, hold up, both of y'all got levels now too. She's confused because they're not players like him or Jin Woo. They can't see the same system window as him. So he's just pondering over what the system's trying to show him with the heirs of the monarchs and wonders if they can level up too. They still don't know for sure that they can, so how do we check? Well, probably by going on some more raids. But they're like, come on, yo, we just went on 2. Well, okay, we'll save that for later. Let's just do the daily quest right now. They're both just hanging their heads, walking slow as shit. They come through to his shadow realm, but then Suho's just shook. There's a red gate inside his personal shadow realm, and it's just giving off an immense heat. He's like, Beru, can gates appear in my private domicile? He's like, well, I guess I don't really know. He's got a new urgent quest titled Dimensional Crack. But as soon as he sees the notification, the first thing he does is smile. Throw some robes over to Isla and Gray, saying, come on, I wanted to go on some more raids anyway. Let's go in the gate.